My name is Gloria Stonelake. I am the CEO and founder of Glow Media, and today I am watching my episode, doing a reaction video of my episode on the Bigger Pockets Money podcast that I was on a few months ago. So let's get started.
This episode is about the power of starting young, of exploiting the unique circumstances you have available to you specifically. It's about taking advantage of starting with a safety net. You are going to be inspired and amazed by Gloria and Ben, two young people who are making massive progress so early in life. And we talked to Gloria and Ben about how they started their individual paths to financial independence at such young ages and what their financial futures hold. Hello. My name is Mindy Jensen, and with me as always is also started his FI journey at a young age co-host, Scott Trent.
Thanks, Mindy. Great to be here with my crushed her journey to financial freedom in 1,500 days, co-host Mindy. If you want to retire early and travel the world, go on to make big-time investments in assets like real estate, or start your own business, whether you're 16 or 60. We'll help you reach your financial goals and get money out of the way so you can launch yourself towards your dreams.
Scott, I am so excited to bring this episode to our listeners. So without further ado, let's bring in Gloria. Gloria is the founder of a social media marketing agency. At just 18, she's been able to grow her business to an annual 6-figure revenue, all while still being a full-time student. Gloria, welcome to the Bigger Pockets Money podcast. I am so excited to talk to you today.
Thank you for having me.
This is going to be a great story. I was chatting with Gloria right before we started recording, and I can't wait to share it with our listeners today, Scott. Gloria, let's jump right in. Can you give us a little bit about your background and your business?
Yes. So my name is Gloria Stonelake. I am from right around Minneapolis, Minnesota. That's not my Instagram anymore, guys. It's Gloria Stonelake now. I am currently still in high school. I'm a senior technically in high school still, but I do an online college thing on Saturdays, so I don't attend high school so I can focus on my business. I started my social media marketing agency about over a year ago, maybe 14 months ago, and I have been scaling it and learning sales and learning marketing and learning leadership ever since.
And what is social media marketing?
Social media marketing, I mean, there's so many different aspects to it. For me, social media marketing is something that every single local business owner and business in general, honestly, needs. That's my answer. And what I do with my clients is I just run ads, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on TikTok, Instagram, to generate more leads and then appointments and then clients for, my clients. But I mean, I've tried short form content before, but really what stuck with me and it makes more sense for me and my company is Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok ads.
And so how did you?
We primarily focus on Facebook and Instagram now. I'm looking to expand to short form content, get that rolling out, but not yet, soon.
You get into this business. What's your background that led you to start this and get going?
Yeah. So I was an antsy teenager. I was antsy. I'm like, I need to start something. I need to do something with my energy. Entrepreneur at heart, of course. So I'm like, I need to do something. I scrolled on YouTube for a while, found a bunch of videos. I'm sure a lot of you guys, mortgage loan officers, are in the same boat. It was about social media marketing and how I can make money as a teenager with my own business. I'm like, heck yeah, this is amazing. So I binged videos for a while, for a couple months there. And I finally started my agency, September, October of 2022. And then that's kind of how I got into it. I found a coaching program, a couple along the way, that's taught me a lot about running a business and how to actually run a business, especially when it comes to social. It's always the coaching programs that teach us the stuff we need. It's never college. Media marketing. So that's kind of how I got in here.
And who is your client base?
Yeah, so I help mortgage loan officers and brokers all around the United States. So really anyone, I help them find purchase business, primarily purchase business, sometimes refinance, depending on the market, but that's what I help.
I'm going to come in here as a mom and say, on the one hand, I think this is fan-flipping-tastic that you already have a job in a career that you're clearly excited about and knowledgeable about. And also I'm like, oh, you're only doing school on Saturdays. Shouldn't you be spending more time on your schoolwork? But also, why? Why should you be spending more time on your schoolwork? So that you could get a job?
School is a scam.
I mean, what does high school prepare you for? It prepares you for college. Do you want to go to college or do you need to go to college? Because here's a little hint. Social media isn't going away. So this job is only going to get bigger. We're in like the beginning stages of social media marketing.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Guys, if you get started now, even Mindy said, guys, social media is not going anywhere. Get started now. You're early.
Excited for your experiences, right? I call Scott a kid on this show a lot, not out of disrespect, just because he's so much younger than me and you're even younger than Scott. So I'm looking at you and I'm listening to your story and I'm thinking, holy cow, she's so smart and poised, and like she's got answers for kind of Scott could be a little intense. Well, what about this? What about this? And you're like, here's an answer.
She's 15 years younger than me.
Like, I'm so delighted by this whole story. And I want to know what your parents did right to raise you. What was your upbringing like?
That's a good question.
When it came to money and finances, and like, did your parents talk about this all the time? Because I am bombarding my kids with finances and they're always like, we don't care, Mom.
Yeah, that's a great question. Actually, no, not at all. Actually, my parents, they taught me growing up. They're like, Gloria, don't talk about money. Don't talk about money with your friends. We'll not even talk about money in front of you. We're not going to talk about money at all. And I'm like, okay, interesting. I've always had that, I know, like a spark or a drive to become successful, to become like, I knew I didn't want to, 9 to 5 it for the rest of my life. I knew that. But no, I wasn't surrounded by a lot of money. I live in a middle class, we're middle class here. Like, I wasn't surrounded by a lot of money. I just have a drive, a drive to succeed, a drive to do something different, a drive to build something.
So then what made you want to start your own business? I mean, the drive, yes, but if they're not talking about money, do your parents have traditional jobs where they work for other people, or are they entrepreneurs as well?
They work 9 to 5 jobs. And I feel like that motivation came from seeing that. And that's totally okay that you work a 9 to 5 job. That's totally okay. Just seeing that in general, I'm like, maybe that's not where I want to be. Maybe that's not where I want to be. Respect, but I don't want to do that. I want time, location, financial freedom, and that's not going to get me there.
Where did you come up with the idea of financial freedom, or where did you hear about this? Not come up with it. I would love to say Gloria invented financial freedom and we're talking to her today, but like, this isn't something that's really part of the vernacular in middle school and high school.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not spoken about at all. I don't want to call myself a conspiracy theorist, but I'd say a realist. I'm always one for figuring out what's not being taught, what's behind the curtains with all of this. So in the 8th grade, I did my own research. I decided I'm going to read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, going to do a bunch of research, right? Figure out what is the real way? How do I get wealthy? How do I start?
Rich Dad, Poor Dad started everything.
How do I do something? Where do I allocate this energy? So it started with Rich Dad, Poor Dad, of course. And then shortly after, I found Sheiks Freaks. Dan found me on, shout out to Dan. He's awesome. Sheiks Freaks as well. That community is amazing. He found me on Bigger Pockets because I posted something on Bigger Pockets talking about wanting to work for a realtor or something, get experience. And that's kind of where it all started. It all unfolded with kind of reading a lot about personal finance, from Robert Kiyosaki to Think and Grow Rich, to all of these iconic books when it comes to finances and wealth. I found communities like the agency community I'm in right now, and then Sheiks Freaks, and all came together with kind of the community, finding people that are like me, that have the drive like me.
I was going to ask about the mentorship and the training, and I look back to my 18-year-old self, and I would not have paid anybody to teach me anything because I knew everything when I was 18. What led you to look into training and connecting with people to help with the business coaching?
The closest 5 people to you are, a reflection of yourself. So I wanted to be, no hate to anyone that I'm close to or close to here at home, but I wanted to be surrounded by people, whether it's online, in person, whatever, by people that actually think like me. So it kind of reflects. Does that make sense?
Look, you can tell I'm just super interested in your business and the details of it.
He's way too
with this.
interested.
So with your permission, I'd love to go back to talking more about it, and I'd love to kind of just go pop out to a more fundamental question of like, what is the objective of your business? Like, how do you explain it to new people that you're talking to?
Yeah.
What I do is I help loan officers generate leads and turn those leads into loans using sales frameworks and methods that are not talked about in the industry, because other companies like to drop non-exclusive leads off at your doorstep and hope that you convert them, which leads to you wasting your money on leads. So what I like to do is I like to fill in the cracks and give you the frameworks and teach you the methods on how to actually turn your sales skills from being referral sales skills to online lead gen skills, because social media is not going anywhere, Mindy even said.
Of course. So I explain it as seeing a return on investment. Like, why invest in marketing if you're not going to get a return on investment? So what I guarantee is loan applications, because that's what I can control and that's what I can send them with my marketing. So
I don't do that anymore. Pre-approvals is my system is more advanced than it was back then. So my guarantee is actually pre-approvals. So I can send you 3 to 5 new pre-approvals every month with my system. And that's minimum. The more money that you put in, the more money you'll get out. It's just how it works. You gotta invest money to make money. So I don't do loan apps anymore. I do pre-approvals.
I tie in the Facebook ads. Yes, I tie in the advertising that I do that's custom to them, whatever works. But I also help them see the bigger vision. Once you get something like this under your belt, right? You can save time. You can save energy. You can save money. You're losing more money than you actually are without.
I have a video, the difference between linear scaling on my Instagram and TikTok. The difference between linear scaling and exponentially scaling, right? Linear scaling is scaling by cold calling, scaling by these systems that are not going to get you anywhere. It's not even a system. It's you being your own 9-to-5 worker as a mortgage loan officer, right? You don't have a company, you're a hustler, employee to yourself, to your company. So cold calling will lead you there. But when you put a system in place like advertising, it's exponential. You're going to get exponential growth because, first of all, Meta, it works in trends. So Facebook ads, it works in trends. It's like investing in the stock market. The more that you invest, the more you'll get out. But yes, it'll dip. Yes, there will be times it dips. Yes, there will be bad weeks. But in the end, in the long run, if you're here for a long-term game, right, there's no way you won't succeed. So I'm trying to get the word out there that once you have a system like this down, once you have a system like this in place, you're unstoppable. You never have to pick up the phone again.
Something like this. So that's kind of how I frame it because it's real and it's true for most of the people I talk to.
Yeah. So you've mentioned that you have a couple of people that work with you. It's not just you. You've got a team in place.
I do. I had since like 2 days ago, I had 2 people working under me, a call center associate and a cold caller that's actually cold calling officers underneath me to get me more clients through that direction. I actually let go of the cold caller recently, and now I'm just with the call center associate and putting more funds towards my B2B ads, paid ads, to kind of scale that direction.
How old are these employees of yours? I'm just coming at this from a position of most people aren't going to be younger than you working for you. And some people won't care that their boss is younger than them, but some people might have a real big problem with this. How do you assert yourself with employees that are older than you?
Yeah, it's people.
Gen Z is the number one generation with social media. So I would rather hire, if I was not Gen Z, I'd rather hire someone in Gen Z rather than not, because they know their stuff with social media.
People think over Zoom, people say I'm 25. People think I'm 30. People think I'm a millennial.
I don't care.
I'm like, I don't correct them. I don't say anything. Why people say that is because of how I carry myself over Zoom and
how you carry yourself.
How I'm acting versus how I'm not acting, right? So if I am very to the point, and
even to the new loan officers watching this video, it doesn't matter how old you are. Carry yourself, radiate confidence, and no one will ask twice.
Confident, and if I am confident about what I'm saying even, and hold myself with confidence, people aren't gonna think twice. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how old you are.
Boom. Doesn't matter how old you are at all. Doesn't matter. I'm 18 years old and I've changed lives. It doesn't matter how old you are. It matters how much you know and the skills you have.
My employees or my employee never asked that question once because I always gave her direction. I'm giving direction. So I'm a leader. I lead them. So that question has never even occurred to them, even, I feel like, because I'm not even radiating any youthful, kid energy. I'm radiating a business owner. I'm radiating someone that's leading a team.
A leader.
So there's a big difference there.
I love that answer. Oh my God, I love that answer. And I'm asking because I happen to know how old you are. So, okay, well, on the other side, do you have any issue with clients? Or is it kind of the same thing? On Zoom, they don't question you because you're not saying, "Hi, I'm 18. I want to."
Age isn't relevant. I'm not going to bring it up because it's not relevant. If someone asks me, I'll tell them. I don't care. It's not relevant, right? You talk to me because I have something you don't. You talk to me because I've solved a problem that you haven't solved yet, right? Who cares if I'm 13, 18, 25, 50? It doesn't matter. As long as they can solve your problem, it's okay, right? If you can solve my problem, I'd pay you. It doesn't matter how old you are. The fact that you're solving problems at your age, it shows enough credibility. It doesn't matter.
Work for you. Like, I wouldn't be announcing that either, frankly.
Age is just a number. Age is just a number in my book. Like, my parents are still like,
and that's to anyone. That's to anyone. Any loan officer watching this that's younger, right? Age is a number. It's nothing. You have more power younger. If you're younger and you're starting younger, you have way more power than the ones that are older. You can separate yourself by your age. That's how you can separate yourself in the industry. You can be a leader as a youngpreneur. You can be a leader young, and that's how you can separate yourself and get traction. You can separate yourself and sticking out in this day and age is huge.
Gloria, you're just 18, you're just 17, whatever they said. You know, you're just, you know, calm down. I'm like, I don't feel like I don't feel like age has anything to do with knowledge, like, at all. Like, you can acquire as much knowledge as you want, how young you are, is, you know, so age is nothing.
And there's different areas of knowledge too. You might be very, 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 very smart, you know, writing loans, being a loan officer, originating, wealth advisor, right? Very, very smart. But there's things that you're not smart in, right? That's why you come to me, and that's okay. But I need you guys, because you guys need to close my deals that I'm generating.
To me, it means nothing to me. What you've accomplished and what you're accomplishing matters. So with my clients, I've gotten people assuming,
guys, it's a new age. It's just how life is. If you grew up without, you know, with age being huge, identifying yourself with your age, it's 2024. It's not the same anymore.
That I'm 25, 30.
I've
gotten people
I don't care how old you
saying I look like I'm 16. I don't care, because in the end,
no one out there should.
If they find out how young I am, it's a power. You know, it's a power, because Gen Z, like, knows more about social media than any other generation out there.
Fact.
So I carry as a superpower, and I've gotten respect. When people find out my age, it doesn't matter to me, because I get respect from that. People on these calls are telling me, Gloria, I wish I was like you. Gloria, you remind me of myself back when I was 18. And that's, I think that's a superpower.
I think it's a superpower too. I love that you are in such ownership of you're like, I happen to be this age. I don't care. That doesn't have anything to do with my qualifications. And you're absolutely right. If I was looking for a brain surgeon, I probably wouldn't be looking in the 18 to 25 range. But if I'm looking for social media, I absolutely am looking in the 18 to 25 range, because that's what you grew up with. You mastered. I don't know anything about social media, and I am totally fine with that. But if I need somebody to do that for me, I need somebody who understands it, and who understands it better than the people who literally grew up with it. What are some of the challenges that you have faced on your entrepreneurial path?
Taking action and getting uncomfortable. I feel like it's hard. It's hard at the beginning to get uncomfortable.
It's so hard. Even sometimes I still freeze up. Sometimes I still do. You know, my goal as a leader, right? My goal as a leader, a business partner, is to inspire you to get uncomfortable. It's inspire you to actually take action, because taking action is learning.
Well, it's hard to pick up the phone and dial and talk to people.
It's hard.
You know, it's hard when
especially when you're new to lead gen. It's so hard. So hard.
I grew up without amazing social skills. Like, it's hard to do things that make you uncomfortable. So the number one thing that was just a struggle to me was just talking to people, getting comfortable talking over the phone.
It's hard.
And connecting with people.
That's why we need accountability. That's why I joined my coaching program. Joining my program, Glow Media, will give you that accountability. And I'm not saying that to tell you, oh my gosh, join Glow Media. Accountability is huge. Everyone thinks that they don't need accountability until it's actually time to call your leads. Where the heck is Gloria screaming at me in the Slack chat, right? You need accountability. You need it.
And sometimes I still have a problem with that.
And some people still even don't.
But I'm trying to shed that and move forward with that. Something funny though, my old job, I used to work, actually before I started my agency, I worked at a restaurant, a local Chinese restaurant around where I live. And I was on the phones. That was my first official job. I was on the phones at all times. So I can kind of allocate some of this like phone communication to that job. So kudos to that restaurant, because I probably wouldn't be here right now if it weren't for that, or it would take me a little bit longer. So
I am a real estate agent, and I work with a few lenders. I have my favorite, of course, and it is very much a pick up the phone and make a phone call job. It is not, you know, they do text, they do email, and I prefer having it written down because I want to be able to, you know, go back and see exactly what we said, as opposed to trying to remember the phone call that we had. But in this industry, in the real estate industry, It's all about relationships, and people
100%.
want you to pick up the phone and call. So
100%.
that's awesome that you have that experience and that you're working on flexing that muscle. Because I mean, honestly, what's the worst that's going to happen? They're going to say, no, I don't want your services. Thank you so much. And then they're going to hang up. And that's like, okay, next. It's not, oh, they hate me. No, they just don't understand what you do.
I imagine that the success you've had and the platform you've built.
And a lot of loan officers struggle with that, picking up the phone and dialing. Believe it or not, when it comes to referrals, those leads, and when it comes to leads online, it's a change. And sometimes it can be hard to pick up the phone and dial. You guys are farther ahead than other industries, other local businesses like dentists and chiropractors, right? You guys are further ahead with this stuff. So use it as a superpower to dial.
So is in some cases potentially isolating, right? Where this is not what other kids in high school are doing. How have you built community and managed relationships as a CEO and an entrepreneur here?
It's complicated a little bit because I'm still close with my friends that I grew up with, but I also have made so many new connections with other entrepreneurs around my age in these other different entrepreneurship groups. So I feel like I kind of am allocating some of that energy over here to build these relationships, but also it's still balanced, and it's still kind of on either side, it's still kind of the same. There's a little bit of distance with, what I'm doing. It's like
when your mindset changes, you start thinking differently. And when you start thinking differently, you start taking different actions, right? And the actions that you take manifest into reality, right? So when I'm taking different actions that my old peer group is taking, right? Or peers or friends, right, are taking, things change and you start just automatically distancing because we start making different decisions. So just beware, if you're one of those loan officers out there that wants to win, you're an entrepreneur of yourself, right? We're both entrepreneurs. So if you're a loan officer out there that wants to succeed, that wants to be top 1%, you got to do things that not many people are doing. You got to do things that your family's not doing, your friends aren't doing, other loan officers aren't doing, right? Me, I had to quit school. I had to leave school to pursue this, to make an impact. What do you have to do? If your peers are cold calling out there thinking they're going to be millionaires, maybe they don't even want to be millionaires, right? Maybe they don't even want to be successful. Maybe they're just doing this for fun. Maybe they're just doing it just to make ends meet, right? Not to go to college or something. But I know a lot of people watching this video right now, the fact that you're watching it, that's not enough for you. And when that's not enough, like it wasn't for me, you have to make the decisions that no one else is making. Do the things that no one else is doing. How do people become successful? It's called the 1% club because only 1% make it. Why? Because they make 1% decisions. All your decisions that you made up until now is exactly why you're here. So if you want to get up here and you're down here, you got to start making different decisions. And how you make different decisions is you have paradigm shifts. You think differently, right? So you have to understand what it actually takes to get up here, and it all stems from making different decisions. I'm not making the same decisions that peers from high school are making, and that's okay. Either side is okay. You live your life how you want to live, but I know there are winners watching this video right now, and I'm just going to warn you. I'm going to warn you, this is what it takes. Making decisions which are mostly difficult decisions and no one else is making. Compare it to someone that's obese, that wants to get skinny. The only reason why they're obese is because they've made the same decisions. They're making the same decisions, right? Every day they're making the same decisions. They're gonna stay obese. They can't just, and they wanna get skinny, right? But they can't just snap their fingers and turn skinny, right? They can't become skinny and then start eating healthy. All their decisions they made around diet, around health, around fitness, is why they're obese. So they have to start making different decisions around those subjects, around those topics. They have to start making decisions around diet, around health, around exercise to become skinny, because they can't just snap their fingers and become skinny, or they can't become skinny and start making those decisions. So you have to wrap your head around what it actually takes to win. If everyone's cold calling and no one's building out a system, no one's investing in their business, and I'm not just saying this because I can help you, I'm saying this to warn you. They're not making exponential decisions. They're making linear decisions. So by the time they're 50, they might have a successful business. But you can utilize social media, but they work their butts off to get there all day, every day. including weekends, right? But maybe you use social media, you 10x your growth in way less of time, right? So you got to figure out what you actually want. What do you want in life? If you want to be that mediocre loan officer that doesn't want to make a difference, that's just here because it's a social norm. They're here because they don't want to go to college. They're here because, they just want to make ends meet, right? You can exit this video because the rest of this video is for the people that actually want to be in the 1%. People that are actually looking to make different decisions, because cold calling, I'm so sorry, it's not going to get you there. I don't cold call. It's not going to get me where I need to go.
At the level where I am thinking about business, I'm thinking about my career and future, when maybe it's not the case so much with people I used to hang out with so often. So, there's no disrespect at all. There's nothing like that. Everyone grows at different.
One of the biggest lessons I've learned in life is that just because people have different opinions, different life goals, not everyone wants to be successful. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay that people have other opinions. It's totally okay because we can't control external forces. Other people, we can't control it. Like we can't control the weather. So accepting other people for how they are is a big thing in life that everyone needs to understand. We can all make fun of the people that go to college without a goal. Like, why are they going to college, right? There's no point. People coasting, people on autopilot every day, people not awake, right? We can make fun of them, right? We can talk about it, but that doesn't make us any better than them. That makes us lower than them, right? So we have to understand people don't know what they don't know. People don't know what they don't know, and we can't blame them for that. So respecting other people's opinions is huge. If you can't respect other people's opinions, you're not allowed to have your own opinion. It's just how the rules work. That's how the game is.
But it's hard. Like, it's still hard navigating this. But I'm coping. I'm learning with all of this. So that's that.
Awesome. And last question here, I imagine in your situation, this puts some conflict into play about what should be next. Like, should you take a gap year between high school and college? Should you go to college at all just because you have this super profitable business? How are you thinking about those types of questions, and what's your kind of lean right now?
If you want to become a successful business owner, don't go to college.
I'm not going to college. It's just not in the scope of where I'm looking to take things. No college for me. I don't think it's sitting in a classroom is just not my forte. College. I like taking action.
2024.
I'm actually technically in college right now for marketing. So I do college marketing on the side, and I run a marketing business over here. What they're teaching over here with the college marketing, it's not the same, and it's not as it's not what I'm seeing over here in the real world, the real business. So people say, high school, gets you ready for college. It, gets you ready, and college gets you ready for the real world. I don't think so, because I'm doing the real world right now, and it's not even similar to what I'm doing in class.
What is one piece of advice that you would tell someone like yourself who's young and wants to start off on their own financial freedom journey?
One piece of advice I would tell a loan officer starting off even with social media, but in the industry for years and just starting off with social media. Take that step. What's the worst that can happen? Take that step. That was the hardest decision I had to make, to take that step. A 1% decision is to take that step.
You have to get rid of the limited beliefs. We have to unscrew up our mind. Once you understand how much power you actually have, what you can accomplish, it doesn't matter how old you are, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, doesn't matter. Everyone has the power to take action, and taking action is learning.
Doesn't matter.
And experiencing. In this day and age, we have so much access to anything online, courses and everything. My question is, if you want to become successful, if you're just like, I just want to make money, why are we going to college when we can find all of that information literally on YouTube University, I like to call it. I think self-belief, taking action and acquiring those skill sets and putting that over just making a quick buck at the beginning, what's the worst that can happen?
What is the worst that can happen? They're just going to say no thank you and hang up.
I also want to call out one other thing here is you are basically skipping senior year of high school. Essentially, right? With the part-time classes here, in order to start your business. What a great concept for aspiring entrepreneurs to at least think about in the back of their minds. Like, this year for you is a free spin, right? You have rent and probably food paid for because you're living. I think you're living at home. Is that right?
Yep, I am.
So, you get a free spin. If this hadn't worked out, you go to college and continue along with your education and get a job like everybody else.
The thing about this is I disagree. Hadn't worked out, right? He said, quote unquote, hadn't worked out. You only get to a situation like that where it doesn't work out, right? If you stop. If you keep going, you will win. Because hadn't worked out is stopping halfway through. Failing is stopping halfway through. If you're a mortgage loan officer and you stop halfway through, you're gonna fail. It's just how it is. Right? If we go to the grocery store and stop halfway through, we're gonna fail to go to the grocery store. So the only way to fail is to stop. And you know you're not to the destination. You know you didn't fail yet because you didn't stop. So if you're halfway there and you're like, oh, it's so hard, right? It's so hard, I wanna stop. It's the only way you're gonna fail. The only way. If you keep going, keep betting on yourself, right? There's no way you'll fail. I'm still going. You can do it.
Because it did work out, you have now a business that is...
Something that I understood was that delegation is key. Investing in yourself is key. I would not be here right now if I didn't spend a lot of money, thousands and thousands of dollars investing in myself. I would not be here right now. Gotta spend money to make money. That's a 1% decision.
Worth probably multiples of the revenue that you have currently on the trajectory. You have a great income stream and a super promising trajectory here. I think that's a really powerful thing for parents and students, that are thinking about entrepreneurship to consider. This was, and you can even start it potentially in the summers, right? And part-time at first, towards the end of sophomore, junior year, if you're really starting to plan around it and think, hey, is there a way to de-risk this even there and actually make sure that there's a momentum?
If there's anyone young like me, a teenager watching this video, you have nothing to lose. It's your life. It's not your parents' life. It's your life, not your friend's life. It's not your social circle. It's not your hometown's life. It's your life. Who cares? People take life too seriously. People take life way too seriously. Way too seriously. Doesn't matter. Who cares? Wake up and just go. Like, who told you that life has to be so serious? Who told you life has to be serious? No one. Business isn't serious if you don't want it to be. It's what you make it.
Building before you decide to drop out of the traditional schooling system.
And to add to that, if you don't mind, I feel like anyone can just start now. You can just start now. You don't need to wait. Just start now. Take that first step. 99% of people don't take that first step. So once you take that first step, you're good to go and just sail, cope.
Well, Gloria, you are absolutely amazing. Thank you for sharing this story. I will wish you a lot of success. You don't need it. The wish is there because you are well on your way. You've got incredible command of your business here. Congratulations on what you built. And I can't wait to see the enormous business that you build over the next couple of years here. Love the way you think about approaching business and life here. Really have high respect for the total competency and command you have over it and the learner attitude. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Before you go, Gloria, where can people find this lovely business?
Yeah, so they can email me.
You can find me in the description below. But guys, the moral of the story here is to tell you have to make 1% decisions. I don't care if you sign up with me. Don't care. Me, Jane, Joe, don't care. You have to start making 1% decisions to become a 1% earner. That's the moral of the story. And I started to make 1% decisions. It drew me away from my social circle, drew me away from normal things in life, but that's how it works. You're gonna start manifesting different things. Your actions will start manifesting. It's just how it is. The fact that I am here right now, it just happened. And it will happen when you start making those decisions. 1% decisions are the hardest decisions to make, so it makes sense why 99% of people don't make them. So once you start making those 1% decisions, you're good. You can coast. You can sail. Just go.
I'm at Gloria at glowmedia, GLOWMEDIA.US.
That's a wrap.